Hello everyone, it's Katie and I'm really excited to be back with another video. Today I thought it would be really fun to highlight some of the collegiate tennis players who have made it to the French Open and talk a little bit about how they are doing and where they played tennis at. So if you are not an avid tennis spectator, the French Open is one of the four majors, so the four biggest tennis tournaments of the year. We have the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and then the US Open. So these four are the biggest, most popular, and kind of most prestigious titles you can win as a tennis player. And a little bit about how these players kind of get entered into these tournaments. It's typically a draw of 128 on the men and the women's side. I think the number is 104. If you're ranked inside that number, you'll get direct entry into these tournaments. And if you're below that, then you can either be in a qualifying draw where you have to win a couple of rounds to get entered into the main draw, or they typically give out 8 wild cards for the men and 8 for the women, and these will grant you direct access into the tournament. Okay, so starting off, probably the most popular, most well-known is Danielle Collins. She is having an incredible year, and this is also supposed to be her last year on tour, which is sad. She's very fiery, very fun to watch. She won the Miami Open this year. She won Charleston. She's made a few semifinals as well. She's currently ranked at a career high 10, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, she did not have the best French Open showing. She won her first round and then lost in 3 sets in her second round. But she played college tennis for her first year at the University of Florida, and then she transferred to Virginia, where she played for 3 years. She finished her college career ranked as the top college player in the country, and she also won 2 individual NCAA singles titles while she was there. So very well done, Danielle. We also have Emma Navarro. She also played tennis at the University of Virginia, and she won the NCAA singles championship in 2021. She is currently ranked 24, and she made it to the 4th round at the French Open, so super great run for her. She eventually lost to Sabalenka, who we know is quite talented. Next, we have Peyton Stearns. She played for 2 years at the University of Texas, and she also won the NCAA singles title in 2022. So clearly there's a little bit of correlation there between success. Peyton recently won her maiden title as well at the Moroccan Open, so that's an amazing achievement for her. She's currently ranked 62, and she lost to the superstar 17-year-old Andreeva. Okay, next, which I apologize if I butcher any names. I'm really sorry. We have Amina Bektis. She played at the University of Michigan from 2011 to 2015, and she did not win a singles title, but she graduated as she had the most all-time singles wins at the University of Michigan for tennis, so that's pretty cool. She also lost to Andreeva just in the first round, so clearly she's quite a good player. And she's currently ranked 92. And lastly, which I saved this one for last because I'll tell you in a minute, it's kind of funny. We have Leola Jean. She is French. She played at quite a few different universities, Baylor, Arkansas, and Lynn. She's currently ranked 148, and she lost her first round to Iga Swiatek, which I always wonder how these players must feel. They get into the biggest tournament of their life, and then they draw the number 1 seed best player in the world. I mean, don't get me wrong, very cool opportunity, but that is a tough first round. But I saved her for last because her senior year playing at Lynn University, they were in the same conference that Rollins was. So our team actually played her twice. We played them in the regular season, and then they were our first round at conference. And she was probably, in all my years playing college tennis, a whopping 6 of them, in case you forgot, she was probably the best player I saw. I mean, she was just like, she had so much variety. She could hit any target on the court that she wanted. Seriously, very, very talented. Very cool to watch her play. I did not play her myself, which might have been a little glad, but super great to watch. Okay, so those were the players that were in the main draw of the French Open and kind of their current statuses. As far as the men, there were none that really played college tennis, I guess, aside from Ben Shelton, but he opted. He played 2 or 3 years at the University of Florida until he decided to go ahead and go pro. Ironically, too, his father was the coach at the University of Florida, but he has now quit, and he is full-time coaching Ben on tour. So very cool. He's very exciting to watch as well. Lefty, big serve, comes into the net a lot. So a lot of great things for some college tennis players. But so with that, those were the players that made it into the main draw, either through direct entry, qualifying, whatever that may be. Jean went through qualifying, so she won a few rounds of that. But there were also 12 plus players on the men and women's side that were into the qualifying draws, trying to get into the main draw that played college tennis as well. So very cool to see so much representation in the majors and one of the biggest tournaments at that. So just a little bit of some insight on the pathways of tennis and success of some previous college players.